Perek Chazkas Habatim, Daf Mem Zayim, sponsored the Refuah Shlema for Yochai Rafael ben Batsheva. Mar begins with conditions that permit different business associates to testify on behalf of one another without concern their testimony is based on a vested interest. Number one, a guarantor can testify for a borrower as long as he owns additional property. Since the lender has property to collect in case the borrower defaults, the guarantor is protected. Number two, a creditor can testify on behalf of his debtor as long as he owns additional property to collect. Number three, an earlier purchaser can testify on behalf of a later purchaser as long as the later one has other property. The loss of the contested property to the challenger does not put the first buyer's property at risk. Number four, concerning an Orev Kablan, there is a machlokes. Since the creditor can approach him initially without attempting to collect from the borrower, it is the guarantor's interest he possess more than one property. If, for example, one property is inferior, the other average quality land, the guarantor prefers he be in possession of both. Since his right is to collect his debt from average quality, even if the borrower still possesses inferior quality, the guarantor will not be able to persuade the creditor to settle for the inferior. The other opinion holds this consideration does not distinguish the Orev Kablan from a regular guarantor. Rabbi Yochanan distinguishes between the different business associates and their children. The son of a craftsman, sharecropper, and a thief's grandson can establish a 3-year chazakah. The son's claims are based on witnesses testifying they heard the challenger admit he sold it to their fathers. However, an admission to a thief, even in the presence of witnesses, is not believed because it can be assumed the seller was blackmailed. However, a grandson can acquire after a 3-year chazakah based on the principle Taninan Liyasomei. The court claims on behalf of orphans a possible claim of his deceased father, namely, he purchased it directly from the seller. The court does not expect the son to be aware of all his father's business affairs. However, Rava qualifies this ruling. If the grandson claimed it as an inheritance from his grandfather, he does not acquire. The Gemara brings different circumstances that prevent a thief from establishing a chazakah. Rabbi Yochanan explains this ruling in reference to a property the courts established he stole. Rabbi Chisda holds this ruling refers to a mafia family who resorts to murder for financial gain. Any property in their possession cannot be acquired on the basis of a chazakah. The owners are afraid to protest. The Gemara explains the law of a 3-year chazakah changes when business associates undergo a change of profession or status. Number one, craftsmen and sharecropper who change professions can establish a chazakah. Number two, a son who conducts business independent of his father. The father no longer allows him free access to his property. Number three, a questionable divorcee supported by her husband can establish a chazakah. He would not allow her access to his property. Rav Nachman in the name of Rav Huna states, all who cannot establish a 3-year chazakah can establish ownership by proper proof, such as documents or witnesses with the exception of a thief. The Gemara differentiates this ruling from a Mishnah in Gittin. One who purchases land from a murderous mafioso who forced a Jew to relinquish it, despite the fact he also purchased it from the original owner, his acquisition is null and void because the seller confirmed the sale for fear of reprisal. According to Rav, the acquisition is void only if the seller stated, Lech chazek v'koni, go acquire. But if he drew up a document, the sale is valid. Rav Nachman restated this ruling to reinforce the opinion of Shmuel that even if the seller drew up a document without a guarantee, the acquisition is void. However, a guarantee, not coerced, inserted in the document indicates the seller's consent to the sale. Rav Nachman holds despite the acquisition being void, the thief is entitled to a refund as long as witnesses testify they witnessed the payment. But if the seller only admitted to being paid, there is concern that the thief may have blackmailed him into admitting. If you're enjoying Daf and 5, please click on the link below. Become a sponsor, and I want to wish you all a good Shabbos. Thank you.